I don't even really know what to make of this story. It's kind of insane. It's like if you were watching Godfathers 4. I don't know if that was ever made. I know there was the Godfathers trilogy. I have watched that. But yeah, no, this is a crazy story. This has to do with blackmail and a Premier League owner and a lawsuit. But honestly, it has to do the most with probably the greatest hater of all time. And the most curious thing is, at no point in this process are you going to find out why this person is being the greatest hater of all time. Right? Like, if you were hoping by watching this video, you're somehow going to figure out the moral of the story, there is no moral of the story. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, look, I'm sure there is. I just don't know it. We, the collective we, don't really know it. It's not public knowledge as to why this sort of thing is happening. But I'm glad it's happening because it is distracting me from my imminent doom on Sunday. Nah, that's not true. I'm going to be positive. It is distracting me from the immense amount of pain that I am going to undergo on Sunday. By choice. Because I am running the New York Marathon on Sunday. Thanks to all you guys bullying me into running and training. It'll hopefully be a little less bad. You know, I'm very well prepared. I've got everything lined up. I know exactly how I'm going to fuel up. I know exactly how I'm going to handle certain situations that I happen to come across, right? I am ready to rock and roll when it comes to fueling and eating my steel cut oats and everything, but it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And it's going to happen. And there's going to be, don't worry, there'll be Zealandisms coming out. Probably while I'm running, there will be Zealandisms that are posting because of the magic of the internet. But until I actually have to put, sneakers to tarmac, I am happy to be distracted by these sorts of stories. They're going to get me through the final anxious 48 hours before the actual big race. The owner in question is a Greek man named Evangelos Marinakis. All right, this is the guy that owns Nottingham Forest, if you didn't know. In Nottingham Forest, also, if you didn't know, have lost just one of their 9 matches this entire season, which is kind of crazy. What's even crazier is that I feel like I'd pulled that up, and it's right here, and I couldn't find it in my tabs. But there it is. 9 matches played, 4 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss. It's the point where we're far enough in the season where you got to start paying attention to the fact that nobody seems to be able to beat Nottingham Forest. Right? Nottingham Forest is 2 points off of Arsenal. It's 1 point off of Chelsea. It is 3 points ahead of Tottenham and 5 points ahead of Manchester United. Attention acquired. And over the past few years, Nottingham Forest has been trying to return itself to the top of the game, and Marinakis is the guy that has been basically doing that. But this story is about a lawsuit he's involved in that has very little to do with what Nottingham Forest is doing on the field and everything to do with a couple of people that are, at least in my estimation, insane. They have to be insane. Either they're insane in their desire for just revenge, or they're just flat out insane. I don't know which one it is. But I think it would be hard to classify this, manner of behavior as normal and not insane. It's okay, I do insane things too. I'm running a marathon on Sunday, right? But the people in question, first, a girl named Irini Karipidis, who is a chairperson of a different Greek club, all right? Because Marinakis runs Olympiakos. At least my understanding is he runs Olympiakos and he also runs Nottingham Forest. Well, Irini Karipidis, along with other members of the Karipidis family, run Aris Thessaloniki, which is also in the top Greek league, right? And apparently, according to reporting, and a lot of this is coming from The Athletic, who did an incredibly detailed piece on this. This is the title. If you watch this video with me passing my opinion on it and want to read more about it in detail, go read this piece. Daniel Taylor crushed it. Tries to walk you through all of the insanity that's going on here with the journalistic integrity that I'm not going to have while making this video, right? Because I'm going to be calling these people insane, which I don't think Daniel Taylor has the ability to do, but I also believe if he had the ability to do it, he would probably be doing it. Anyways, it's not just Irini Karipidis. Actually, it is. This whole lawsuit comes back to Arenas Karapetis. And what's happening is Marinakis is suing Karapetis for defamation, basically like slander. Whatever, the name of the law differs depending on where you are. This lawsuit is in England because the offenses have taken place in England. But it is a lawsuit for basically defaming Marinakis. Okay. Normally in these types of lawsuits where somebody is claiming to have been defamed, you typically side with the person that's done the defaming because usually there's some legal jujitsu that's going on here. But I want to be real clear. There is no actual evidence that what Arenas Karapetis is saying is true. But if you're a Nottingham Forest fan, if you've been around Nottingham at any point in the last couple of years, you are probably aware of this story, but you're not actually aware of the story behind it, which makes this even more fascinating. Because what Karapetis has done is created an entire web of anti-Marinakis sentiment online regarding Nottingham Forest. I'm talking websites, I'm talking Twitter accounts, I'm talking vans that drive around Nottingham that just say defamatory shit about Marinakis. And this is these are serious accusations. The Athletic gives a lot of examples, right? I'm not going to list all of them, right? But there are some of the examples they're talking about are just hilarious. This example is when Forest played Bournemouth on December 23rd last year. A billboard van spent 8 hours. 8 hours! 8 hours! That's a third of the day. Daylight and nighttime included. Right? That is such a long time driving around the Nottingham City Centre, as well as the streets near the stadium, displaying the message, why is Evangelos Marinakis on the naughty list, and directing people to the website. They also say 2 weeks later, there was another match in the FA Cup against Blackpool, that the van did the same thing until Marinakis security was able to stop the van near the stadium. It had an image of Marinakis that was described as evil and menacing. But what's really damning is what's on the website. Right, this is the website that they founded. I forget the name of it. It's somewhere in here. Right, but there are tabs on the website for organized crime, drug trafficker, match fixer, sanctions evader, murderer, ? Notice how none of the other ones included ? But they were like, maybe calling him a murderer is a bit too much. And money laundering. Right, readers were encouraged to stand for justice and corruption-free future in football by signing up for updates. They're literally just straight up running this thing around the center of Nottingham for 8 hours, just insinuating the guy that runs Nottingham Forest is a murderer, a drug trafficker, and somebody who is a match fixer. I want to be clear. Again, he has not been even charged with any of this sort of stuff. Okay, is he a perfect guy? No. Most people that own football clubs, basically everybody that owns a football club and is wealthy enough to own multiple of them, has plenty of skeletons in the closet, I'm sure. He's serving a stadium match ban for spitting in the direction of the direction of an official. This is not somebody that is going to be working at the local soup kitchen. Maybe he actually does that, and I'm completely wrong, but I think you understand the general picture that I am trying to paint. There's a difference between being kind of an abrasive person and being a murderer and a drug trafficker and a match fixer. But as they lay out in this article, he's not been convicted, or at least having read the entire thing, not been seriously pursued for any of those things. This Karapetis lady was serious and shipping serious money for this. She sent over $30,000 from Cypriot bank accounts in order to try and get a bunch of defamatory tweets saying that he coordinated anonymous smear campaigns, saying he was banned for being part of a match fixing ring in Greece, which is just not true, right? This is the worst op of all time. This person was going unbelievably hard. They had contracted a plane to fly over a Nottingham Forest game with this dude, what's his name? I forgot his name. Marinakis. Karapetis and Marinakis. Right. Anti-Marinakis messaging to try and turn the fans against them. And that's what they did on the website too. The website had these little things down in the corner that were like paid for by the fans. You know, give football back to the people, all trying to like hide the fact that it was just one person bankrolling all of this. And just when you think I'm done listing things that Karapidis is done to try to get at Marinakis, she had a draft like newspaper article authored that they were trying to get published that would openly suggest that they should be investigated for match fixing in a victory over Huddersfield 2 years ago, pointing out that Huddersfield had 2 penalties overturned on appeal. Like, they were hitting this thing from literally every angle you could possibly think of, including physical media in and around Nottingham to try and drive traffic to their website, their newsletter, their Twitter accounts that were all bashing this guy. And he has been, apparently, as, you know, most kind of powerful dudes seem to do, has been investigating this mercilessly, because it was all hidden under shell corporations. They had to go find like the person, you know, that Twitter account that was with a media company that was getting paid over $30,000 to run that Twitter account. It was based in Texas. And they had to go through like multiple legal loopholes to get third-party information to be released in like a defamatory case or something or whatever. I won't even begin to attempt to pretend that I understand it. Right, to get the information to be like, no, it was this group, this Harris Media Group that was running it. And then they're able to kind of drag them out. And then, well, who paid them the money? And this is who paid them the money. And then they go to Cyprus and it's like, well, who's the CEO of this company? And it's like a shell company where the Karapidis is the CEO of the company. I mean, she's writing at one point that he sent a postal bomb to a bakery owned by the family of a Greek referee who refused to change a call during a game. Which again, like, apparently it's just not true. Like, she is just trying to take this guy down with everything that she can throw at the wall and try and get it to stick. And as you internalize the sheer insanity of what's going on and the fact that there is now a lawsuit in the High Court, which apparently they're going to fight it out. Like, Karapidis has said that she is prepared to take Marinakis to court, and it's expected that they're going to ask the case to be struck out in UK court. Like, they're going to keep fighting this. It is still not clear why she's so mad. I mean, even the guy that wrote this, Daniel Taylor, is like taking a guess, is a part of this. Like, her brother Theodore is the lead owner of Aris Thessaloniki, and apparently, you know, they've had a falling out over the last 18 months in the Greek league, Marinakis and Theodore, right? But that's the only thing you can even find to kind of put a finger on that could possibly be contributing to Karapidis. Maybe Karapidis is just a hater. Karapidis just looked at Marinakis' beard and was like, you know what? I'm going to try and ruin your life for years. But Marinakis has finally found the white whale. He's Ahab. He's finally found the one person that's been behind this incredibly coordinated defamatory campaign. Apparently this was driving him crazy. You can imagine, you would be driving me crazy. If you're rolling around and you're just like, dude, why is there a van in Nottingham City Center for 8 hours accusing me of being a murderer? Like, what is happening? Right? And you just keep spending tons of money and pulling at the thread. It talks about all the lawyers that he hired to try and track all of this down, and they're finally in court. And I am so emotionally invested in at least knowing why Karapidis is so damn mad at Marinakis that she is trying to take him down. This feels like some sort of NBC 8 p.m. drama that I'm watching where I don't even know a quarter of the story, but the facts that I do know are just so tantalizing, I can't wait to watch the entire 8 seasons. And I hope you can't either, because I just tried to explain this whole thing to you, and I barely understand what's going on. I'd check out Daniel Taylor's thing if you want more.